We are in the middle of a heat wave, and the garlic certainly does not appreciate it. It's starting to brown a lot earlier than it usually does, and it's time to dig it up. Today's July 10th, and you can tell if your garlic is ready to harvest when the 3 lower leaves on your garlic turn brown. You don't want to leave it any longer than that because it will start to rot. What will happen is once it rots, the garlic cloves start separating from the garlic head, and eventually next season you'll end up with tons of garlic in that bed where you had planted your garlic in. This is a new variety to me, and it seems to kind of create bulblets at the base of the garlic head. I'm not sure what the deal is. This is a soft neck garlic. It reminds me of the garlic that I grew from the grocery store, but that one got bigger heads. I have, I think, 3 or 4 different varieties of garlic in here, but I am excited about taking them out of here because I want to plant some carrots and some kale for our fall harvest. I usually do not use the fork to dig up the garlic, but this garlic is super mature where if I just pull it, the neck would break off the garlic head, and I don't want that to happen. The vampires are definitely not coming here. I'm going to try to separate the varieties if I can tell what they are. I did record a video showing what varieties I planted in here. I know I have music in here. I have, I think, hardy German, something like that. I have elephant garlic. I think I may have Italian garlic as well. This might be the Italian garlic. Wow, that is a big one. I hope you guys can see it because I don't see what's on camera. When you are pulling the garlic, if you're using a fork, you want to put your fork a few inches away from the garlic so that you don't pierce your garlic heads. You're just trying to loosen the soil around it basically so that it's easy to pull it. This would actually be good for braiding. I want to give you guys a garden tour of the vegetable garden. Everything is just exploding and it's doing so well. I love it over here. I think this might be the German hardy or hardy German, whatever that is. It's a hard neck variety, and their heads I think are not supposed to grow as big as the soft neck variety heads. And I've never grown hard neck before. From my understanding is that they don't store as well. Here's our harvest. This right here, I think might be the Italian. I'll just flash the names for you on the screen because I forgot what I planted. And I believe this could be the elephant garlic. I mean, we got some big heads. They're not all big, but you know, in a harvest, you're not gonna find everything to be big or everything to be small. So look at this. This is a good size over here. This is my hand. I have big hands, and this fits perfectly in the palm of my hand. And I expected this to grow a lot bigger, the elephant garlic, but it did not. That's okay. Next year we'll amend the soil even better and we'll get some good harvest, hopefully. And this could be the hardy German hardy. Don't know. Got some big heads as well. Some small, some big. And that does not belong in here. This is a soft neck. It goes in here. Pretty good. I'm happy with the harvest. I'm thankful. And now all of these are going to sit in an area where we're not going to get any rain, in a ventilated area. I'm going to lay them out, separate them from each other so that they can cure and dry a little bit. Basically, that's what cure means. And also all the energy from the leaves is going to go to the bulbs. So you want to keep the leaves on them. You don't want to take the leaves off until they dry out. And once they dry out, you can brush off the excess dirt, cut the tops off, and put them in a cool storage. Maybe about like 45 would work. Hey, chipmunk, get away from my raspberries. You guys see him? Where is he? Oh, I don't know where he went. Anyways, so what I was saying is these are going to go in a ventilated area, and I'm going to let them dry for maybe a week or two, and then they're going to go in a cold storage. Now, we don't have a root cellar. We have a basement, and maybe the basement might be enough for these, and I have stored them in the basement. But if we do turn on the dehumidifier, that would warm up the area, and that might cause them to start rotting. So I'm going to try to keep it where we don't have to turn on the humidifier, and we can keep the basement cool because it stays around 65 or so even in the summer if we do not turn on the dehumidifier. And that seems to be enough for most varieties of garlic. I will be using the hardneck variety first because those will go bad before the soft neck variety does. And I also like to store them in the freezer, so I can just peel a lot of them and put them in the freezer in Ziploc bags, just the peeled garlic cloves, and I can pop them out of the freezer and use them that way. And it's just amazing that way. But we do love fresh garlic as well, so I am going to keep some fresh garlic. But basically that's how I store my garlic. And even just storing them in the basement, they hold up really well until next summer. So I'm not worried about it. I've done it several years before, and I will continue to do it. So if you don't have a root cellar, don't worry about it. If you live in a cool environment, having a basement should be enough for storing your garlic. You want to put them in a ventilated container, you know, maybe a basket or something of the sort. You don't want to put them in a cardboard box because that doesn't have enough ventilation. You want to keep the container open so that they can have enough airflow, and that will allow them to last a lot longer. Look at this one. This has seeded itself in the garden. I did not plant this. This is from the grocery store variety that I've been planting for years. And it just seeded itself in there. This is my hand. Okay. And this is it. Look, I can't even put my whole hand around it. That's insane. And all these seeded themselves in the garden. That is such a blessing. So exciting.